Now we have huge announcement finally after months of anticipation about what the future of NASCAR looks like for 2022 with the introduction of the next gen car. We now know we have gotten the schedule for next season. Sorry if I look like crap. I just came back from working outside for like 2 or 3 hours. So I'm still all dirty and stuff, and but that doesn't matter right now at the moment. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with this schedule now. Originally, the schedule was supposed to be released on Wednesday, but this is the internet. If they say it's going to be released Wednesday, you're going to get it on Tuesday, usually the day before. The Athletic were the first ones to get their hands on the 2022 schedule, and we're going to go over all the major announcements. So let's get into it. The big change is how we start the season. For the first time in history, the Busch Clash will not take place in the state of Florida, will not take place at Daytona. It will move across the country to the Los Angeles Coliseum on February 6th on a Sunday. Now, you probably know, if you haven't seen my earlier videos, you already know my thoughts on the LA Coliseum. The Iceberg posted a really good video, I believe, on his thoughts on the LA Coliseum, and I agree with a lot of his opinions, but this is a make or break. This could either help NASCAR tremendously or kill all of its momentum by making this this change of racing in a football stadium. I don't know how that's gonna work, but regardless, I'm gonna be intrigued to see how they're going to pull this off. Now, Speed Weeks, nothing really is going to change there. The duels at Daytona on Thursday, 500 on Sunday. But then we're automatically going to go to a West Coast swing with Fontana for the first time since 2020. It makes a return to the schedule. Las Vegas and Phoenix. Atlanta will be the fourth race of the schedule. But then another big change is Circuit of the Americas. Now, when it held its debut race, it was held back in, I think, early or mid-May. And that was just drenched with rain, and it was almost a failure, but it was just horrible in terms of the weather. It's now been moved up much earlier to Sunday, March 27th. So big move up for COTA, and also returns to the schedule. April, no real changes in the month of April. Richmond on a Sunday, Martinsville, Bristol Dirt. Now, nothing really changes in terms of the date. The only difference is that this time it will take place under the lights on a Sunday night. That's another thing, a Sunday night race on the Bristol Dirt track. And then Talladega caps off the month of April. No real change there again, except for Bristol becoming a night race on dirt. In May, again, no real changes there. Dover, Darlington, Kansas. The All-Star race returns to Texas on May 22nd, again on a Sunday. And then the Coke 600 on Memorial Day weekend. June, there's a brand new track coming to the NASCAR Cup Series. It is Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway, Sunday, June 5th. Starts off the month of June in St. Louis. That will be, like I said, NASCAR's debut race for the Cup Series. I personally think that I like this change. I like that NASCAR is going to new markets. And the thing is, St. Louis, they have a long history with racing and at Gateway with the Truck Series and IndyCar Series, racing there for numerous years, so I like the change. And I think Gateway can produce some really good racing, so I'm happy for this change. And then Sonoma on June 12th, that will be the end of Fox Sports' coverage of NASCAR. Then we get a 1-week break. The weird thing is that this will be the only break of the entire year. We're not going to have 2-week breaks. There is not even a break for Easter Sunday, which is a first since 1989. That was the last time NASCAR has raced on Easter Sunday, so that tradition has now broke. So yeah, only 1-week break as NASCAR moves from Fox to NBC. NBC begins its coverage on June 26th at Nashville. And then again, no big changes. July, Road America, July 4th weekend. Atlanta keeps its second race. I don't know why though Atlanta has a second race, because to be honest with you, that second race this year, the attendance was horrible. It was really bad. I don't want to give an estimate on the attendance, but it was pretty empty to say the least. So I don't understand. I don't think it's a good idea for Atlanta to hold a second race. If they are going to hold a second race, I'd much rather have them do it Sunday night and not in the middle of the day in July in the South. Not a good idea. Atlanta, we know it's going to be on July 10th on a Sunday, but hopefully it's a Sunday night and not a Sunday afternoon race. But New Hampshire follows that race. Then Pocono, because Gateway comes to the schedule, Pocono loses a doubleheader and now returns to just a one race thing. I was not surprised by this change. I think after the doubleheader, which in theory looked like a great idea, I think the attendance was really good for both races. The TV ratings were abysmal for the Pocono doubleheader. Now I won't be surprised if NBC probably stepped in and said, hey, we're not doing this anymore. Now, clearly, people don't care about the doubleheader. Let's just kill it already. NASCAR agreed, and they killed the Pocono race. And I think I won't be surprised if we could maybe potentially see a NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader again with Gateway, maybe, who knows. Yeah, Gateway in, Pocono race out, and then to cap off July is the Indy Road Course. That also makes a return to the schedule. Not surprised. Everything, it was a really good race at the Indy Road Course up until 7 laps ago, but August, one change with August. Michigan starts off August, but then Richmond no longer part of the playoffs for the first time I think since maybe 2017. I think that was the last time that Richmond was not part of the playoffs. But yeah, I'm not surprised by this decision. I thought the Richmond race last week, it wasn't spectacular. I don't think it was made for TV, but I thought it was a solid race based off of the racing and the strategy. But if you're talking about playoffs, you want 10 incredible racetracks that's going to produce great racing. Richmond is not going to be that type of track, at least not anymore. It's not a made-for-TV track, so I'm not surprised that it no longer is part of the playoffs. But it does keep its 2 races, and this time, both races will take place Sunday afternoon. Richmond will have a Sunday slot on the 3rd final race of the regular season on August 14th. Watkins Glen and then Daytona ends the regular season. Now the playoffs, they got switched up a lot. Darlington, same thing as usual, starts off the playoffs, but then Kansas moves from round 8 of the playoffs to round 2, the second race of the playoffs and the second race of the round of 16, and then the Bristol night race caps off the round of 16 just as this year. But then round of 12 begins with Texas. Unfortunately, Texas does keep a playoff race, moves from the round of 8 to the beginning of the round of 12. Talladega, and then the Charlotte Roval caps off the round of 12. And then the round of 8, Las Vegas goes from the round of 12 to beginning the round of 8. Then next up, making its return to the playoffs, and rightfully so since 2018, is Homestead-Miami Speedway. Yes. Obviously, since I'm from South Florida, I love this change, but also, Homestead is a really good racetrack, and it deserves to be part of the playoffs. I think when it got taken out of the championship round and got put in such a weird place, like in the middle of March, it didn't work. Like it wasn't gonna work. Homestead needed to be part of the playoffs, and I'm glad it's back, and I'm glad it's part of the round of 8. I would have been okay, if Homestead was part of the playoffs regardless, but I'd much rather prefer it, have it be close to the championship round, and having it take place in the second race of the round of 8, I think that's a great move. Martinsville caps up the round of 8, and then Phoenix, once again, will host its championship race Sunday, November 6th. So those are really the only major changes. Just to recap, NASCAR's moving the Busch Clash to Los Angeles. NASCAR will race on Easter weekend. COTA moves from May to March 27th. The Bristol Dirt Race becomes a Sunday afternoon race to now a Sunday night race. Gateway joins the NASCAR Cup Series calendar on June 5th. Pocono loses one race, so no more doubleheaders for Pocono. Kansas moves from race 8 to race 2. Texas and Las Vegas, they basically swap dates. Texas now joins the round of 12. Vegas joins the round of 8 slot. Homestead moves from March to October to host the second race of the round of 8. And again, Martinsville and Phoenix, though they are still going to be the final 2 races of the NASCAR season. I kind of like that it is not such a radical change. Like if you look at this year was a huge change. So many new tracks, so many different things with COTA, Bristol Dirt, Road America, Indy Road Course. There's so many different things that were added to the calendar this year. I'm glad that next year is going to be a change, but not such a radical change like it was this year. I'm glad NASCAR calmed it down with the changes. And I think they made some really good changes. I like them moving COTA to March, to get away from the drenched May month. Moving Homestead from March to the round of 8 in the playoffs, I think is an incredible move, a really good move by NASCAR. Adding Gateway, going to a new market in St. Louis. They're really familiar with racing. I think that could open up some new doors into NASCAR having a new home in St. Louis. I think that could work. And yeah, really the only things that I worry, the only certain dates that I'm worrying about is the Busch Clash, because again, that is such an unknown, how travel logistics and all that stuff, just getting to LA, how that's going to work. Also with the Super Bowl, because I think the Super Bowl takes place next week, if I'm not mistaken. How's that going to work? If maybe the Super Bowl could take all the attention away from NASCAR racing at the Busch Clash, and then the event itself, how would it work racing inside a football stadium? There are so many unknowns that, again, if it works, then NASCAR is going to head into the 500 with so much momentum that NASCAR has never seen in maybe forever, since maybe 2013. But if it fails, then all that momentum out the door. So this is a make or break deal for NASCAR. Very interested in seeing how all that's going to work. I'm also, again, interested in seeing Gateway, if that can produce some good racing. I think it can, but we're just going to have to wait and see. And yeah, those are really the only things that I'm concerned about that are new coming to the schedule. There are some other things with the certain tracks that, we've talked about having issues with for quite some time now, like having Phoenix be the championship race is something that a lot of fans, including myself, have not been too big of fans of for quite some time. But those are really the only two things that are new to the schedule that I'm very concerned at. So, but yeah, ultimately, I like the schedule. I like that it's not that much of a change. There's still changes to it. It's still fresh, but again, it's not like this year where it's such a radical change and everything is different. The only thing I am hoping for next season, all these races better have practice and qualifying. That's all I'm saying. If you got that, then I'm good to go. But that is going to conclude this episode of Inside the Lines. Guys, what are your thoughts of the calendar for 2022? Do you like it? Do you not? What parts do you like about it? What parts do you don't? And overall, are you excited about the 2022 season now with the release of the schedule? Again, leave all your comments down below. But until next time, my name is Jet from MDK. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. And I'll see y'all next time.
I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hearse. I've been on the vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm